Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Shirley M. Real channel, where we are here to provide stories, tips, and takeaways to new entrepreneurs and leaders such as yourself. So if you are tuning in for the first time, I do want to welcome you. I do want to thank everyone who's been watching on a consistent basis. Thank you for your patience as I am learning this whole YouTube thing and getting comfortable and familiar with making a YouTube video. Please, if you are enjoying the content that we have already provided in the past, be sure to become a subscriber and of course set up the notification bell. We want to make sure you are informed when we have a new video. And plus, before I get started, just to let you know, this video may be broken up into two parts, depending how long I can record for, but be sure to catch both parts if it does happen to be two separate ones. So let's get started with the story for today. So because I am Haitian, so back home, every morning when I was there most of the time, usually what ends up happening, the mom or the nanny or the grandmother, the elder person, let's say, will wake up and they will sweep the front of the door of the house. So they call that the word is laku, which is like you would say your front porch or your yard. And what they do is they sweep it, and it's called bale laku. Or another word for it is bale devant portu, meaning sweep your front door or sweep your porch or your entrance, pretty much. So there's two reasons why that when they do this, they tend to throw water on the ground as well. One of the reasons I see is because it could be dusty at times in the morning, and tends to throw water on the concrete or on the front door so that it can control the dust flying all over the place. And another reason I presume is because the floor sometimes may be really, really hot. So you ever seen, if you live in a tropical area, when they say you could fry an egg on the ground because it's so hot. So I know if you throw water on the ground, it looks wet and it gives you the illusion that is a much cooler ground than it really is. So people who live in other foreign countries may know that a lot of people may leave their shoes outside. They do not come into the individual's home with shoes on, so most likely they probably leave it outside. So keeping the ground wet is a great way to kind of control dust to be flying all over the place, right? So that's just something I always experience when I'm in Haiti. Somebody's always out there sweeping the front door, bale laku, as almost like an everyday thing. So I'm telling you this story because the other day I was outside and I was sweeping my front door, my front porch too. And I remembered when my aunt and my mother, both of them came down to visit me here in Florida. And when I would go to work, I would come back home that evening and the front of my porch would be completely clean. I mean, you would not see one leaf, one branch, one palm tree, nothing would be on my front porch. And it would always be spotless. And then one day I was off, I had gotten up and we were having breakfast and my aunt says, "Oh, I gotta go outside to bale laku, dirt on it from last night." And I said to her, "Why? There's nobody coming." And of course, when a Haitian mother speaks, or any mother speaks for a matter of fact, it's like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Does somebody have to come for the front of your house to look good?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem, my bad. Go ahead, go sweep the front porch." And that moment when I was doing it last weekend, and I was just like, man, I could definitely use my aunt to come back down and take care of this for me. So that made me think about just the front porch. And her response was, does somebody have to come to your house for you to be prepared to receive them? And for us back in Haiti, making sure that your front door was nicely kept is a great way to invite people to your home. And for her, it was like, you never know who's gonna stop by. Your front door should always be cleaned and looking nice so that when people walk in, they know they're coming into a welcoming place. So I know you're wondering, what does this story have to do with business? What does this have to do with my storefront, my online business? Well, let's imagine that the patio, for example, the story I gave you, like my patio, imagine your patio was your business. How does your business look for people to come in. Your front door should always be welcome, always be ready for anybody pop up, because you never know when they're going to show up. They don't need to have someone to show up at all times, but you always want to be ready in case somebody does out of nowhere, right? Always be able to welcome them. Since there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, a lot of people are starting with online businesses or just in front consultations or different face-to-face businesses, I want to give you some great insights of what you need to be looking to make sure is intact, that is looking good, so that you can be prepared to receive customers at all times. Now, it should not just be for your grand opening. It shouldn't be just because you're having an offer. I know Black Fridays, everybody's getting their storefront, their layouts looking great because they know they're going to get a flood of customers. But one-time customer, and maybe a customer is going to keep on coming, and you want that to occur. So you want to be prepared and have everything in place on a consistent basis. We know not every business is going to be perfect, but if you set yourself up to make sure these 5 things are at least your top priority on a regular basis, this will allow people to come in and feel welcome and ready to do business with you. So let's get started.